I never believed in haunted houses. I mean, it's 2024, but after what happened in my apartment, I'm not so sure. It all started subtly. I'd come home from work and feel like something was off. The coffee table seemed a little closer to the couch. The armchair in the corner was angled differently. I brushed it off at first. Maybe I was just tired, misremembering where I'd left things. But it kept happening every single day. I'd wake up, and the dining chairs would be an inch to the left. The rug in the hallway would be slightly askew. It was small, insignificant stuff, easy to dismiss, so I did. I told myself I was just being forgetful or overly imaginative, but then it escalated. One night, I decided to test my sanity. Before going to bed, I took a picture of my living room on my phone. The couch perfectly centered against the wall, the coffee table exactly 2 feet away, the lamp precisely in the corner. I even placed a book on the exact center of the table. I went to sleep feeling a little silly but also a tiny bit nervous. The next morning, my heart sank. I walked into the living room and it was completely different. The couch was pushed against the opposite wall. The coffee table was now under the window, and the lamp? It was in the middle of the room. I checked the photo on my phone. The timestamp was from last night, just before midnight. The image was exactly as I remembered it. The reality in front of me was a complete rearrangement. The book I'd placed on the table was now on the floor, open to a random page. My blood ran cold. This wasn't me being forgetful. Something was physically moving my furniture while I slept. The strange thing was, I never heard a thing. I'm a light sleeper. A car door slamming outside can wake me up, but an entire living room being redecorated? Silence. It was as if the objects were moving on their own, gliding silently across the floor in the dead of night. I tried to rationalize it. A prank? But my doors were always locked, windows secured. There were no signs of a break-in. My landlord? I called him, pretending to ask about a leaky faucet, and he confirmed he hadn't entered my unit. He even reminded me he'd need to give 24 hours notice. The nights became a source of dread. I started staying up late, sitting on my bed, just listening. I'd strain my ears, waiting for the slightest creak, the faintest scrape of wood on floor. But there was nothing. Only the usual city sounds, the distant sirens, the hum of the refrigerator. And yet, every morning I'd wake up to a new configuration. Sometimes it was just a minor shift. Other times it was a total overhaul. My desk would be in the bathroom. My bookshelf would be blocking the kitchen entrance. It was chaotic, nonsensical. One morning, rearranging took a sinister turn. I woke up and walked out of my bedroom to find all 4 of my kitchen chairs lined up in a neat row in the hallway, directly facing my bedroom door. It looked like an audience. Like they had been sitting there all night, just watching me sleep. That was the first time I felt true fear. This wasn't just random movement anymore. It felt intentional. It felt like a message. But what was it trying to say? I started documenting everything. I set up my laptop camera to record the living room while I slept. I was determined to catch whatever this was in the act. I went to bed that night, my heart pounding in my chest. I barely slept, tossing and turning, imagining what the camera might be capturing. The next morning, I rushed to my laptop. I skimmed through hours of footage. It was just me, asleep in my room, the living room still and quiet. And then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., it happened. The video feed flickered for a split second. A burst of static. When the picture returned, the room was different. The armchair had moved. It happened in an instant. There was no dragging, no sound. It was just there in a new spot, like a glitch in a video game. I replayed it over and over. The static was too brief to see anything, but it was clear the furniture wasn't being moved in a conventional way. It was teleporting. I felt a wave of nausea. This was beyond a prank. This was something supernatural. I considered moving out. I spent hours scrolling through apartment listings on my phone, desperate for an escape. But a part of me was morbidly curious. And honestly, a bigger part of me was terrified of what might happen if I tried to leave. Would it follow me? The rearrangements became more and more specific. It was no longer just random chaos. It was like something was trying to communicate. One day, all my books were pulled from the shelves and arranged on the floor to spell out a single word, here, I started trying to communicate back. I'd leave out a pen and paper, hoping for a written message. Nothing. I'd ask questions out loud to the empty apartment. "What do you want? Who are you?" The only reply I ever got was the silent, nightly dance of my belongings. The fear was constant, a low hum of anxiety that never went away. I was living in a puzzle box and I didn't have the key. Then came the day it all came to a head. I woke up and the apartment was unnervingly still. Nothing seemed out of place at first, but as I walked through the rooms I realized it wasn't just still. It was organized. Every piece of furniture I owned, the couch, the tables, the chairs, the lamps, even the TV stand had been moved. But this time it wasn't random. They were all arranged to form a clear, undeniable path. It started at my bedroom door, snaked through the living room, and led directly to one specific spot, the door to the hall closet. My heart hammered against my ribs. The closet. It was a small walk-in closet where I stored old boxes, a vacuum cleaner, my winter coat. I rarely opened it. Now, my entire apartment, every single object, was pointing to it. It was a giant, silent arrow. The message was clear. It wanted me to go to the closet. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, just staring at the path. My mind was screaming at me to run, to get out of the apartment and never look back. But I couldn't. I had to know what was in there. What had been orchestrating this whole bizarre, terrifying spectacle? Taking a deep, shaky breath, I started walking. I followed the path laid out for me, stepping carefully between the pieces of my life that had been so meticulously arranged. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. It was cold to the touch. I hesitated, my ear pressed against the wood, listening. Silence. I told myself it was just a closet. Just old boxes and a coat. I turned the knob slowly, the click echoing in the silent apartment. I pulled the door open. It was dark inside and a musty smell wafted out. I fumbled for the light switch on the wall next to the door, my eyes trying to pierce the blackness. And then, before my fingers could find the switch, I heard it, a sound from the back of the closet. A soft, rhythmic sound, knock, knock, knock. It wasn't loud. It wasn't aggressive. But it was unmistakable. Something was inside the closet, knocking from the other side, and I had just let it out. Thank you for watching. If you've ever had an experience you can't explain, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange stories.